Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, September 2nd, 2016. I'm Fraser with the details. As students and teachers prepare to go back into the classrooms after a long summer break, President of SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, is appealing to all educators to lift their game and start the new academic year on the right foot.
And to be very professional in the approach. There are certain things which may not be in place, because from my observation, there are some schools which there's still a lot of work to be done in terms of the infrastructure, which is the responsibility of the government. Nevertheless, we want teachers to continue to work hard as they would have done, and I want to commend teachers for the tremendous contribution that they would have made over the last term, and to encourage them to do their best, work with their principals, their management team, students, the parents, their colleagues, and continue to make that invaluable contribution which is expected by all.
The Teachers Union president also assured the nation's educators that the union will continue to look out for their best interests as they carry out their duties.
Any problems that you have, you try to resolve it at the school level. If it is unresolved, then you could inform the union and we'll respond appropriately. But we are always there for our membership. Areas we will continue to do our professional development programs, and as the needs arises, we would be able to respond accordingly. We want a caring school environment for all the children in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and the responsibilities, an awesome one that is placed on the shoulders of the children of the nation. Teachers force responsibilities to the students within their care, and we expect all our teachers will work hard and that will continue to do our work efficaciously so that in the end productivity will continue to rise.
With the official start of the academic year set for Monday, September 5th, 2016, many, including parents and students, were in capital Kingstown today, getting their last-minute back-to-school items. SVG-TV took to the streets to find out whether students were fully prepared for the new school year. Some parents also took the opportunity to comment on their involvement in the academic lives of their children.
School? Yes.
I mean, what are your plans for school?
I'm going to school.
And how you plan on doing that? Plan on studying more?
Yes.
Are you ready for school?
Yes, please.
What did you do over the summer vacation?
Read some books.
And what do you plan on doing on improving your grades this year?
Work harder.
Listen to your teachers. And what else?
Instructions. Have good behavior and pay attention. I just stay in the class and write.
I think we should put more emphasis now, making sure that they get what we didn't get, and to push them to do more, because in this life today, without an education, you can't get a job.
Well, I plan to go to the school more often, help him a lot more at home, and encourage him, buy more books for him to use at home, and encourage him to do his best. I think it is very important, because when your parents get involved in the children's life, the children tend to excel more in school. And that helps them to go forward with whatever dreams they have in mind.
Get her more involved in books. She loves reading, so basically trying to get her more into books. You can't just depend on the teachers only to do it. As a parent, you should supervise your child, ensure that your child take part in activities to educate them in stuff that is going on in school and things like that.
How was it in terms of getting her prepared, in terms of getting all her school supplies and so on?
Well, for me it was exciting. She's off to a new venture, a new journey. Well, I didn't wait until most parents didn't wait last minute during the carnival frenzy. I was shopping for my daughter's stuff for school, so to me it was exciting overall.
It boosts the child's ability when you see our parents putting everything into it. It helps them to be more, reliable, more independent and everything like that. Well, normally I assist with homework, make sure when she gets home from school that she do her homework and the extra lessons that she's supposed to be doing.
Are you doing any last-minute shopping now?
No.
You're fully prepared?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing any last-minute shopping now?
No, not really.
You're fully prepared?
Yeah, I'm fully prepared.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying my best to do everything because she's going to do CXC and I have to do my best. Without parents, the children wouldn't go forward. So parents need to do their part and make sure that the kids do their homework, study their books, and then we'll get the reward after.
When you all going today, the children needed guidance?
No, his father prepared everything for him for school, so it was easy. Okay. I am going to be involved in his school life 100%.
The law fraternity here is still trying to come to terms with the passing of former magistrate Olin Denny. Denny was a graduate of Hugh Wooding Law School in 1976, then traveled to Barbados where he was a judge for a number of years. He then returned to St. Vincent where he was a magistrate and also Speaker of the House. President of the Bar Association, Renee Batiste, in an interview with SVG-TV News, said that she knew the veteran attorney since they were teenagers at the grammar school. She reminisced that the trio of Denny, K. Bacchus Brown, and herself had all received West Indies scholarships to read for law at the University of the West Indies.
We moved over to grammar school October, November 1969, and we left in 1971. Classmates such as Dougal Williams, Charlie Gaines, Joel King, Bex Gonsalves, Ken Brown, Swallow Brown, Selwyn Allen, Brendan Everson, Jill Wason, K. Bacchus Batiste, Jean Graves Woodruff. We all were in class together, and Mr. Parnell Campbell QC was our form master. And three of us applied for scholarships under the British West Indies Scholarship Scheme, K. Bacchus, Olin and myself, to read law at Cave Hill, and we got the scholarships. We went to Cave Hill, we read law, and we got our LLB honours degrees and went to Hugh Wooding in 74 and left in 76, graduated in 76.
Batiste described Denny as a jovial person who loved sports and culture. She expressed regret on his passing.
And he worked in the magistracy. I think he had a short stint there, and he also served as Speaker of the House for a short period of time. And then he devoted himself to his private practice. He liked going out to his football and cricket, and he loved carnival. He always sponsored a section in Blondie Bird and Friends for many, many years. And he was also a jovial person. You cannot say you ever saw him grumpy or unpleasant. Always had a nice demeanor. It's still a shock to us, still a shock to me. A lot of things are flooding back, and I know it must be a particularly hard time for his relatives and members of his chambers. Many colleagues have expressed their condolences, and I've received messages from colleagues in the region as well, from the OECS bar presidents have all expressed their sorrow at his passing.
And Vice President of the New Democratic Party, the NDP, St. Clair Leacock, has also expressed his sorrow with the passing of Olin Denny, whom he described as a brother. On radio yesterday, Leacock, who is the Member of Parliament for Central Kingstown, says that Denny was part of a cohort of cadets who were trained in Trinidad, and he credited him for having a great level of discipline.
We all have to call around to get confirmation. Foolishly, of course, as if we believe some people can't die. But, I mean, that's the nature of the shock that we experience from time to time. But Olin's death hits me hard. I refer to him as Jenkins. I feel very saddened with his passing. It reminds us that our eternity is just around the corner. You know, and with all our huffing and puffing, as I said on the WhatsApp a while ago, we need to just simplify ourselves. We are but like dust, speck of sand in the passage of time.
Leacock further outlined that Denny once ran under the NDP ticket as a candidate for the North Leeward constituency and was always eager to give advice.
He gave me tremendous advice, and he's also one of those who put his money where his mouth lay in terms of advising and providing materials on election day, leading up to election, and do whatever he could. He's gone now to the great beyond in his relatively short life. I think he's made a tremendous contribution to this country, certainly to the New Democratic Party, definitely to the Parliament of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to the Vincentian Society as a whole. Since the Grenadines, to my mind, will be the poor for his passing.
Calls for the working class people of Venezuela to combat the coup attempt which is being staged by that nation's opposition and to respect the democratic rights of the people there have been made by representatives of several local organizations at the Venezuelan embassy. Speaking in solidarity with Venezuela was General Secretary of the National Workers' Movement, Noel Jackson, who called on the working class people to repel the coup staged by the opposition, which he said was an attack not just on the working classes but also on the values and interests of all Venezuelan people.
What the working masses in Venezuela must understand is that capitalism has never and will never address the fundamental values of the working people. We reject and call upon you, the working masses of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, to combat this very dangerous attempt by the Venezuelan opposition that has and will continue to attack and destroy the values and interests of the Venezuelan masses. We call upon the democratic institutions, the media, and the human rights organizations to lend support to the self-determination of the Venezuelan people.
Cozell Fraser, representative of the Windward Islands Farmers Association, WINFA, described Venezuela's contributions to the development of SVG as tremendous and called for the respect of that nation's democratic process.
I consider Venezuela to be an empowering experience for our region, and this country is not a country that is trampling on the rights and freedom of its people. In fact, they are fighting to ensure that these rights and these freedoms are broadened, that they are expanded and they are sustained. The same rights that we would want to see for our children and for future generations, the rights to education, the right to healthcare, the right to freedom of expression. These are the things that we see being embodied in the Venezuelan revolution. And as WINFA, and even, personally, I really want to call for us to really respect the due democratic process in Venezuela and really to extend solidarity with the government and people of Venezuela at this time, even as they go through this crisis in Venezuela. So thank you so much.
Beverly Richards, the president of the National Council of Women, called for a quick and speedy resolution to the coup attempt in Venezuela.
On behalf of the National Council of Women, we seek peace, stability, and continued humane treatment for the people of Venezuela, and more so for the women and children, that they be not deprived of their right to life, freedom, justice, and equality. We know that your government will provide such, and so we look forward to a speedy and amicable resolve. We need unity, not just in Venezuela, but within the Caribbean region. With these wishes in mind, the National Council of Women, we stand in solidarity with the resident ambassador, Ure Pimento, and your official staff, and we stand in solidarity with the people and government of Venezuela.
The SALT Smart Coalition in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, in its effort to tackle the public health issue of high dietary salt intake among Vincentians, held an exhibition at the C.K. Graves Sunrise Supermarket at Arnisvale as part of its salt reduction campaign. We hear more in this report by Nikita Tony about the ministry's Less Salt campaign.
Continuing its campaign to encourage persons to reduce their salt intake, the SALT Smart Coalition in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment began their partnership with the business community, particularly those involved with fruit preparation and sale, to identify salt smart food choices to the Vincentian public. With its first exhibition at the C.K. Graves & Company Limited Sunrise Supermarket on Thursday, September 1st, 2016. Noting that thus far, the salt reduction campaign has received positive feedback from the public, Coordinator of Non-Communicable Diseases in the Ministry of Health, Beverly Liverpool, highlighted the importance of having food retailers on board with the initiative.
Trying to see how we could get them to think about the salty products and ways in which they can start let's say, bringing in products with lower salt contents for the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and see ways in which we can work together towards reducing salt intake in the population. So far, it has really been overwhelming. The turnout has been very good. Persons are coming forward to have their blood pressure checks and to find out more about salt and ways in which they can reduce their salt intake and more or less live a healthier life. When we show them the product and try to show them the amount of salt contained, they were really surprised because some persons said that they never took the time out to really pay attention. It's all about the taste, not so much what is contained therein. And so it was a little surprising to some persons.
Liverpool pointed out that high salt and sugar intake will only result in an increase in non-communicable diseases as well as an unhealthier SVG.
We know it's going to be a long, slow process, but we are trying to get persons to understand the need to read the food labels and look for the lower salt and lower fat and lower sugar content, and also to give the children the healthier snacks. We say the low salt snacks, because we are seeing the effects of the high salt content. You know, the learning process, it takes a while, but we have to be repeating things over and over again, hoping that persons will eventually pay attention to what we are saying and really put into practice what we are asking them to do so as to live a healthier life.
Representative of CK Graves and Company Limited, Claudia James, expressed her company's gratitude to be a part of such an initiative. She urged the public to take heed of the available information being offered by the ministry so that they can begin to live healthier lives.
Motion is good because we see what is happening with these non-communicable diseases, and we're really glad that we can enlighten people as to the products that we produce, and it's available right here. Even though you don't see it, you could ask our representatives on the floor are well versed, so they would be able to direct you to these products. So we are trying our best now to bring back our society to a healthier society.
Vincentians are being reminded by the Salt Smart Coalition that less is best. Reduce salt to live a healthier life. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
And SVG will be hosting a number of activities next week in observance of Caribbean Wellness Day, which is usually observed on the second Saturday in September each year. Caribbean Wellness Day is designed to engage the region's people in activities that promote and sustain healthy lifestyles to stop the epidemic of non-communicable diseases. Each year, the day is celebrated under a different theme. This year's theme is Healthy Children in Healthy Environments, and the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment has planned a series of community and school-based activities to observe the day. These include an address by Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, along with a worship service at the Harvest Bible Chapel at Arnisvale on Sunday, September 4th. Monday, September 5th will witness the launch of Caribbean Wellness Day at the Old Treasury compound from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. From Tuesday, September 6th to Friday, the 16th September, there will be BMI screenings, fitness testings, and free play for grades K and 1 in selected primary schools. Saturday, 10th September, there will be a family fun day at the Victoria Park beginning at 5 p.m. The activities will culminate on Tuesday, September 20th with a symposium for primary schools' parent-teachers associations. Resellers of liquefied petroleum gas, or LPGs, are asked to follow the regulations covering their trade and provide receipts to customers. The call was made by Nathaniel Williams, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Trade, earlier this week at a media conference. Williams stated that officers in the Consumer Department will be taking a proactive approach in ensuring that resellers adhere to the regulations regarding the issuing of receipts to customers.
The officers, the consumer affairs officers, have responsibilities to go out as from tomorrow to demand to see the receipt books of the persons who sell. You could ask for the receipt books because receipts are supposed to be there. And that's a proactive point which we need to highlight, that when our consumer affairs officers go out in the fields and they have a list of the resellers, they as part of their due diligence, they make a check to see the receipt book to ensure that they comply.
The Permanent Secretary added that the Ministry of Trade will also be using various mediums to sensitize the public on issues relating to LPG, including safety measures.
We would also want to be on radio programs. I know the Ministry of Trade has a program weekly. We would speak about the matter in a very ongoing way, but I would also want to be in some of the more interactive programs where you can meet the public can ask you questions. There have to be a proactive way of actually engaging and informing the public on the issues. This is a new matter, not new in the sense that we have just started it, but it's new in the sense that we have improved on it, and so the public need to be told on a very continual basis the issues which we're raising here.